beneficence is reserved exclusively for the believers and the good doers. Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, Milton Keynes Jamaat, Zilkad 1447, May 2026. Assalamu alaikum. We're gathered to remember the martyrdom of Muslim ibne Aqeel. But to get to the martyrdom of Muslim Aqeel, we need to go back about 4 months to see what led to his martyrdom, put it into context. After the death of Imam Ali, Muawiyah takes over the Khilafah, as he calls it. The difference is, Muawiyah might have said he'd taken the Khilafah, but the Imamat remains with Imam Ali. Just because somebody else says, I have taken over the Khilafah, does not mean the spiritual leadership is taken away from the rightful Imam. What Muawiyah took away was the political administration of the empire, of the Muslim Commonwealth at the time. Just before his death, he makes sure that the next political leader of the Muslim Commonwealth should be his son Yazid. And he cautions his son Yazid. He says, when you become the governor, the Khalifa of the Muslims, I have made sure that every other province in the Commonwealth will agree to your leadership. But certainly in the city of Medina, the grandson of the Prophet Imam Hussein, he will not agree to it. Be very careful how you handle the situation. So when now Muawiyah passes away, Yazid now takes over. When Imam Hassan passed away, Muawiyah is the political leader also at the time. The people of Kufa in Iraq wrote to Imam Hussein. They said, now that Imam Hassan, our Imam, has passed away, we do not want to remain under the political leadership of Muawiyah. Why don't you come to Kufa and be our not only spiritual leader, but also the political leader at the same time? Imam writes back to the people of Kufa, I am bound by the treaty that was signed by my brother Hassan and Muawiyah, that until the death of Muawiyah, when he passes on, he will still remain the political leader. So although my brother Hassan has passed away, Muawiyah is still alive, he has to remain the political leader, and I will honor that. Until his passing away, then I can also become your spiritual and political leader at the same time. So now he has passed away, Yazid is now coming to power. And the first thing he does is he sends a decree, what you now call an executive order. He signs the executive order in what is now Syria, Damascus in Sham, to Iraq, to Saudi, to Medina. And he writes to the governor there, get hold of Hussein, get his allegiance to my rulership, and if he refuses, get his head. Either his allegiance or his head, nothing else. So now the order comes in. Imam is called to the governor's palace. He's given the ultimatum, your allegiance now or your head to Yazid. Now, there was never any doubt, no ambiguity at all that Imam would ever give allegiance to Yazid. By giving to allegiance to Yazid would mean the demonstration, the destruction of the Islamic faith. So under no circumstances was he ever going to give the allegiance. So the question now is, if he doesn't give allegiance, he has to give his life. So he was prepared to sacrifice his life for sure that Islam could survive. The only thing was, he did not want to sacrifice his life in the chambers of the city of the Medina. He wanted his sacrifice to be as public as possible, and he wanted his sacrifice to awaken the conscience of the people, not only at the time of that time, we're talking about 60 Hijrah, 680 AD, but forever. And that required a different kind of sacrifice. Today, if you want to publicize your movement, what do? I've got a movement here, I want to publicize the people. No, what do we do in today? What do we do? Sorry? Social media. Yes. Facebook. I only know WhatsApp. There's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok. If there was no social media, how else do people today protest, even though there's social media? It happened last Saturday in London. Thousands of people, what did they do? They marched, they protested. And when they protest, you get attention. And when they protested, did they protest in Milton Keynes? Why London? There were people from Milton Keynes, from Northampton, from Birmingham, from Manchester. Why did they come to London to protest? Why don't you protest locally? Why?
The gathering amount of people, the publicity.
Exactly. The maximum publicity is in the capital city of the country, which is London. Right? So Imam is now saying Medina is not where people would come and gather. People come together in Mecca for two reasons. Either because of the pilgrimage of Hajj, everybody there around the region would come to Mecca. They would not come to Medina specifically. They would come to Mecca. Secondly, the Arabs at the time were very good at poetry. And they used to have poetry recited in public, and those poetry competitions and recitations were held in Mecca, in front of the Kaaba. So everybody was going to Mecca. So Imam said, I have to go to Mecca to get the maximum publicity. Do not believe what they write in some books on the internet, that this was a flight of fear. Because Imam feared to be killed in Medina, he took sanctuary in Mecca. No, not took sanctuary in Mecca. He went to Mecca for maximum publicity for his protest against the government of Syria. So that's what he does. Towards the end of Rajab, 60 Hijrah, he leaves the city of Medina together with his immediate family, and they go towards Mecca for maximum publicity. He arrives in Mecca on the 3rd of Shaban, 60 Hijrah. Now that's an important date for Imam, 3rd of Shaban. Why? It's his birthday. He arrives there exactly when he's 57 years old, that the mission is now started. 3rd of Shaban, he is now in Mecca. Let us go back to Kufa. The people in Kufa are now seeing what has happened. Yazid is now in power, demanding the allegiance of Hussein. Hussein refuses, ready to sacrifice. He is now gone to Mecca. And they now gather. So the Shias of Kufa, the leaders of Kufa, get together. And they're now telling the people that, look, 10 years ago we invited Imam to come, but because he was bound by the treaty of his brother, he could not do it. Now there is no more treaty to bind him. He's ready to protest against the government of Yazid. Why don't we call him to Kufa? That is the particular base, because if we can bring him to Kufa against the Syrian government, it will be successful. So the leaders of the Shias in Kufa, led at that time by 4 people, Suleiman Surd Khuzai, Musayyab al-Nokhaba, Rufa al-Shaddad, and Habib Mazahir. These 4 leaders of the Shias in Kufa are calling the Shias in the gathering. He says, look, we need to invite the Imam to come to Kufa. Will you support the Imam movement when he comes? And these were all what we now call die-hard Shias. And they said, yes. And Suleiman is on record to ask the people, when you say yes, supporting Imam, do you know what will you be fighting against? You'll be fighting against the army of Syria, the superpower region of the time. In today's language, the one with nuclear bombs and wonderful drones. That was Syria at the time, the superpower. You will be fighting not with the government of Kufa, you will be fighting with the might of Syria. And the Shias are telling Suleiman al-Khuzai, are you doubting our word? We will support Imam to our death. So the letter now goes out, signed by these 4 people, Suleiman al-Khuzai, Musayyab Nokhaba, Rufa al-Shaddad, and Habib Mazahir. And they're telling the Imam, we have had a meeting here of gathering. The people of Kufa, the Shias of Kufa are ready to support you. Please come to us. From here, we will use as a base to get rid of the government in Kufa, which in turn will then follow on to the government of Damascus in Syria against Yazid. The letter goes out. It reaches the Imam on the 10th of Ramadan in Mecca. Within the next 2 days, another batch of letters from Kufa by different postmen, they arrive to Imam Hussein with the same message. Come to Kufa the time is right to lead a revolution. 2 days later on the 14th of Ramadan, another batch of letters arrive. So within 4 days, a number of hundreds of letters signed by the people of Kufa, led by the leaders of the tribe of Kufa, the Shias, have now come to the Imam. So Imam is now what we now call at the crossroads. What do I do now? Hundreds of my followers are inviting me to go to lead a revolution. What do I do now? And analysts, historian analysts have said, he is an imam, a political leader and a spiritual leader, a spiritual authority at the same time. He's now wearing 2 hats. Political leadership is what they're after, but he's also the spiritual leader. It is the responsibility of the imam, morally, religiously, and socially, to answer to the call of his subjects when called upon, especially when the existence of the Islam is in danger. He has no choice. No choice. He has to go to Kufa. That's his first thing. Secondly, he's aware that Kufa is made of tribal people. Some of them are with the Ahl al-Bayt, and some of them are against the Ahl al-Bayt. During the time of the campaign of Imam Ali, there were those who were with Imam Ali, and there were those who were against Imam Ali. During the time of the Battle of Jamal, Imam Hassan went to Kufa to raise the army to fight with Imam Ali. So Kufa had a lot of support of Imam Ali. So he knows that both sides of people in Kufa, those who are treacherous to the Ahlul Bayt and those who are equally loyal to the death to the Ahlul Bayt. This is 14th of Ramadan. Hajj is about 3 months away. He says, my purpose to come to Hajj was for maximum publicity. 3 months away, people have not started coming, but they will soon start to coming, and I want to get the maximum publicity. So he comes to a decision we would now call a win-win situation. He says, fine, I will remain in Makkah for the next 3 months to get the maximum publicity. Meanwhile, I will go and effect finding mission, send somebody to Kufa to assess exactly how much support do I have in Kufa. Knowing the history of Kufa, how many people are with us and how many people are against us. How many people will actually support me to my last breath and how many people will betray me. So therefore now he's got to find out exactly what is happening. In today's language, he's got to send an emissary, he's got to send an ambassador. Who is an ambassador? What does ambassador mean? Britain, the British government, has an ambassador in each capital city of the world. More recently, the saga that went on in Washington. Have you been following that? Peter Mandelson. Whole saga. And they say, the British government says, the most powerful ambassador in the whole world is the ambassador to the United States. Imam Hussein now says, I need an ambassador. The most powerful region at the time to support Imam Hussein is Kufa. I need to send somebody there who has got the following credentials. When you look at any government today, when the British government wants to send an ambassador to Iran or Iraq, how do they choose that ambassador, do you think? Do you think they'll choose an ambassador who speaks Swahili or Gujarati or Urdu? No. They'll find somebody who has studied classics Arabic, who knows Arabic or who knows Farsi. That will be the first criteria, not the language of the people. They've studied the classics, the culture of the people. If they haven't studied it, they're going through a course given by the embassy here, either the Iraqi embassy or the Iranian embassy. They're given a 3-month course. Study the culture of the people. And then they've got to go through a vetting procedure. Are you suitable for that post? And they go through your life history day by day, account by account, your political thoughts and your financial thoughts, and whether you are susceptible to any blackmail of any kind. Only when you pass the vetting, when you pass through all this, you then get appointed to be the ambassador of that country. You might be appointed to be the ambassador to that country, the country's home office will say, fine, we have now got to check your credential, whether we will accept you to be the ambassador. Your country may have accepted you, but we will have to accept you. So Imam now is looking for somebody who's got the following skills, who has got the religious foundation of the Ahl al-Bayt, has got the diplomatic know-how how to deal with diplomacy, and who's got the political dexterity to deal with the politics of Kufa. That's your personal specification, the job specification. Secondly, you need a person who is fully aware the objective, the strategy, and the mission of Imam Hussein when he goes to Kufa. Thirdly, he has to choose somebody whom he's got complete confidence in him. In other words, whatever that ambassador says happening in Kufa, he will not question him. He will not second guess him. If whoever the ambassador is, this is the situation, Imam has to accept it. He has to choose a person with whom he has complete confidence. And the ambassador, when he speaks a word on behalf of the country he represents. When this ambassador is in Kufa, whatever he speaks to the government of Kufa, to the people of Kufa, would be exactly the same words that Imam Hussein will have spoken on behalf. That's what an ambassador is. And more importantly, is to be a person who knows the local culture of that city. He knows to know the Kufian history. He needs to know the politics of Kufa. And Kufa at the time was made of tribal situations, tribal localities, tribal districts. He had to know the tribal loyalties. Which tribe is loyal to which tribe is loyal to the government, to which district. He had to know the history of Kufa. So it had to be somebody who has lived in Kufa, knows the history, knows the culture, and knows the loyalties. And the locals have to accept him, right? You have been sent by Hussein. He may have confidence in you. We have to have confidence in you that you will also respect us, respect our culture, and you know our culture. So Imam now chooses Muslim Aqeel to be the ambassador, because he fits all these criteria. Muslim Aqeel is the first cousin of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein's father, Imam Ali, and Muslim's father, Aqeel, are two brothers, two blood brothers. So he's the first cousin, his uncle's son, his chacha's son. Moreover, Muslim Aqeel is the brother-in-law of Imam Hussein. When Lady Zahra passed away, Imam Ali married a lady called Habiba. By that marriage, they had a daughter called Ruqayya. And it is Lady Ruqayya who is married to Muslim Aqeel. So the half-sister of Imam Hussein is married to Muslim Aqeel. So Muslim Aqeel now goes with three shoulders, with three weight on his shoulders. He has met all those credentials required. He is the first cousin of Imam Hussein, and he is the brother-in-law of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein has the complete confidence. If anybody is fit for this job, with confidence, it is Muslim Aqeel. So that's the decision he makes on the 14th of Ramadan. The following day, on the 15th of Ramadan, 60 Hijrah, the 19th of June, 680 AD, he tells Muslim, I'm going to make you an ambassador of mine to go to Kufa. Assess the situation. I've got so many letters here that are ready to support our movement. You make a judgment, and your judgment, I will accept it. Is it safe for me to go to Kufa? More importantly, if I go to Kufa, will this mission be objectively satisfied? Will we be able to overthrow the government of Damascus? That is the mission, that is the objective. You know Kufa, you know the localities, you know the loyalties. You come and tell me, take your time, tell me when it is. I am remaining in Makkah until the Hajj time. I cannot come to Kufa before Hajj time because I want to get the maximum publicity. But first, go to Medina. Our brother Muhammad Hanafiya is in Medina. I want you to ask him, what is the situation in Medina? What is Medina planning against me? One of the reasons I left Muhammad Hanafiya in Medina, not taken with me, because I wanted somebody whom I could trust to give me the real situation in Medina. Ask him, what is the situation? Send the message back to me, and then you head towards Kufa. And take two of your children, Muhammad and Ibrahim, both under 12 years old. Because if you take your young boys with your young children, it is a sign that you're coming in peace and you're not a hostile party. 19th of June, 680, 15th of Ramadan, he leaves the city of Kufa, first goes to Medina, has a meeting with Muhammad al-Nafiya. Muhammad al-Nafiya briefs him. Medina at the moment is quiet. They now know Hussein is in Mecca. There is no army at the moment leaving Medina to go after the blood of Hussein. So therefore Medina is quiet. And now he leaves the city of Medina to go towards Kufa. He sends a message back to Medina, halfway through between Medina and Kufa at a place called Madik. He sends with two messengers, says, go back to Mecca, tell the Imam Medina is quiet, there is no hostility coming from the city of Medina, and he heads towards Kufa. And he comes to Kufa on the 5th of Shawwal. It took him about 19 days to go from Mecca via Medina to Kufa. He is now in Kufa. Anybody got relations in East Africa or Pakistan or Iraq? You have relations there? Pakistan. So if you go to Pakistan for a mission of some sort or for a holiday, where would you put up? In a 5-star hotel? You would put with your family, isn't it? Yeah? Forget the 5-star hostel. Yeah? If you've got a family, blood is more than the 5-star hotel. You will go to, you trust your family. You know you will be comfortable. They will not betray you. You go to him. So the first place Mukhtar goes to Kufa, he does not look for now we would call bed and breakfast or B&B. No. He goes to the house of somebody called Mukhtar al-Saqafi. Mukhtar al-Saqafi is the staunch supporter of the Ahl al-Bayt. He proved it during the time of Imam Ali, during the time of Imam Hassan. So therefore he goes to the house of Mukhtar al-Saqafi because he knows he will be safe there. So there now, at the house of Mukhtar, Muslim is now calling the leaders of the tribal cities in Kufa. He says, come and I want you to really support for Hussein. I am his ambassador. Go to your localities, go to your districts, go to your tribes. Tell them this is the mission of Hussein. At your invitation, some of you, if he were to come here, would you support his movement? Would you be ready to sacrifice your life for him? Because when he comes, you'll be fighting against the might of the Syrian army. For the next 6 weeks, up to the middle of Zilqa'd, all these tribal leaders are railing support. And they come back to Kufa after 6 weeks. They say, Muslim, we have got about 18,000 supporters ready to be behind Imam Hussein. Now this is Muslim. He knows the loyalties of Kufa. He has lived in Kufa for 5 years with Imam Ali. He knows the tribal, he knows the connection, he knows the loyalties. And he knows fully well of those 18,000 people, not all of them are die-hard Shias. There are some of them who are die-hard and they will fight for the Imam to the last drop of blood. But there are some who are coming with this reason. They do not like the government of Yazid. They themselves cannot overcome the government of Yazid, but they see Hussein will be able to overcome it. Okay, they do not like Hussein, but will support Hussein because we have a common enemy. Those are the second group of people. And the third group of people, Kufa was a garrison town full of experienced soldiers in warfare. After the death of the Prophet, during the campaign of the first 3 leaders, leader Abu Bakr, leader Omar, leader Uthman, Khalifa Imam Ali, Khalifa Imam Hassan, those soldiers, when they went to campaigns against one, they all came back to the city of Kufa. They founded the city of Kufa, which is a garrison town full of soldiers. You walked along the street, you see a soldier. Every other person almost is a soldier. You walk in Milton Keynes today, every other person is who? IT consultant, accountant, optician, troublemaker for the government perhaps, I don't know. Every other person was something. You go to California and in the Silicon Valley, who is every other person? IT consultant, AI consultant, not surgeons, not dentists or something. Go to Birmingham Koja community, every other person is a dentist or a optician. Go to Portsmouth, every other person is a pharmacist. Come to London and we're nobody. So, this is what happened. So the first group of people, the diehards. The second group of people, the common enemy of Sham. And the third group are soldiers who are mercenaries, what we now call the soldiers of fortune. They said, we don't care about the policies of Yazid. We don't care about the policy of Hussein. We don't care about Islam. If Hussein is going to fight a battle, fight a war, in that war there will be a booty of war, and we want that booty of war. We'll support Hussein because we want the booty of war. We are the soldiers of fortune. So Muslim knows this. Of 18,000, only a few will be the diehards. So he now writes to Imam Hussein. He says, I have my fear. I've assessed the situation. Although we have so many numbers, even if you were to filter out those people who are soldiers of fortunes, who see you as a common enemy to fight Yazid, the diehards there, we are still in a good, strong position to fight the government of Sham, Kufa, and then to fight the government of Damascus. That is his pure assessment, judgment that he makes. So now he is there. When he is there, all this activity that has been going on for 6 weeks could not have been held in secret. Kufa was a small town. And all these goings in the mosque with people, and Mukhtar in the Muslim also says Mukhtar. Mukhtar is a known Shia diehard supporter. The government of Kufa, the governor is Nu'man Bashir. It so happened that the father-in-law of Mukhtar is Nu'man Bashir. So Nu'man Bashir knew exactly what is happening in the house of Mukhtar, where Muslim was his headquarters. So now he sees that Muslim is rallying support. But until now, there is no rebellion, no resistance against his government. So he tells his people, I know what is happening. Do not join the forces of Mukhtar. Be away from Mukhtar. Do not fight against my government. If you fight against my government, the Syrian army will come. So he does nothing to arrest Mukhtar, to arrest Muslim Awsaja. But the civil servants of the government of Nu'man Bashir, the officials, see that differently. They see a threat. They see if Muslim here, with Mukhtar, with the leaders of here, with massive support is getting, if Hussein comes to Kufa, the government of Nu'man Bashir will fall. When the government of Kufa falls, Yazid's government will fall. So they write to Yazid, this is what's happening in Kufa. If you don't act now, your empire will be falling. Yazid calls up his council in Damascus. He says the only way to make sure that Kufa does not fall is to send in a new governor who is ruthless against the Shias. And he needs to find somebody who has proven to be ruthless and oppressor. In the city of Basra, the sister town of Kufa, the port town of Iraq, there is a governor, Ubaidullah, the son of Ziyad. His father was in Basra. His father was the governor of Kufa. Known oppression against the Shias, proven oppression. He now goes to Ziyad, to Ubaidullah. He says, Ubaidullah, in addition to the governor of Kufa, I want you to be the governor of Damascus, of Kufa, Basra and Kufa. And the rule of engagement is this: when you go in Kufa, stop the movement of Muslim. Make sure Hussein does not enter Kufa as a free man, and make sure all the supporters of Mukhtar in Kufa are all eliminated completely, and you take control. Ubaidullah Ziyad now leaves the city of Basra, comes to Kufa. And when he comes to Kufa, he tells Nu'man Bashir, you are no longer the governor of Kufa. This is the order from Damascus. You are stepping down, I become the governor. He arrives at night in Kufa. The next morning, he says, now I'm going to impose a rule of emergency in Kufa. Curfew is in Kufa. Any supporters gathering in groups, they will be taken arrested. And then he sends out his soldiers, his secret service. He says, now, find the supporters who have supported Muslim Aqeel. And when you find them, bring them to the city square and behead them. History record shows in all books, those who supported Hussein and those who were against Hussein, about 10,000 die-hard supporters of Imam Hussein were beheaded in the city square. There was a bloodbath. And those who could not be found at the time, the next order goes out, find them, go to the localities, tell them that if they do not come out and we know they're supporting Muslim, first of all, we'll get them out and we will imprison them. 1,000 Shia supporters were imprisoned during the time of Ubaidullah before Karbala even happened. When Karbala happened, they were in prison with a news blackout. They did not know what happened. People like Mukhtar al-Saqafi was imprisoned. People like Sulaiman Khuzai, they were in prison. All the Shia leaders. And then he tells the tribal chiefs, if we come to know that you knew he was supporting Muslim and you did not tell the government, we will hold you responsible and we will behead you. In other words, withholding information, those people who are against the government, was also a treason at the time. This is the way Ubaidullah now comes into Kufa. The letter has gone to Hussein that things are good in Kufa, come, Imam Hussein is in Makkah. Ubaidullah has now taken charge. When he now takes charge, Muslim Aqeel immediately, the same night that Ubaidullah entered Kufa, he now knows, I cannot remain in the house of Mukhtar because it was common knowledge. So he now leaves the house of Mukhtar, goes to a house of another supporter called Hani Urwa. Hani Urwa, but now only the tight circle of people know where he is. It's a safe house. Very few people know. His two children, Muhammad Ibrahim, are sent to another safe house, so people don't know where the two children are. So the government now does not know where Mukhtar is hiding. He does not come out on the streets. The people who is acting between Mukhtar, between Muslim Aqeel and the public is Muslim Awsaja. He was the intermediary between the two. Muslim Awsaja would go to the mosque, and he is the one who would now rally the support in private, because the government doesn't know. And he, in turn, when it's safe, he would go to the house of Hani and brief him what has happened. Ubaidullah now comes up with another tactic, a master political tactician. He now sends all the spies in various localities in Kufa, informants. He says, go in there, be like them, infiltrate them, be like the native, as it's called. And these are good spies who can infiltrate, and you think he's one of us, one of the locals. And get information to me, who is who, what is being planned in various localities. Particularly, go to the central mosque in Kufa. This is the governor's palace. This is the central mosque in Kufa, next to it. And this is the city square. 3 together almost there. Go to the mosque and make sure that somehow you infiltrate the movement of Muslim Aqeel. He sends his master spy called Mu'akkal. He says, Mu'akkal, you are the best O007, the best. I have so much slush money here. Take any amount that you want. Infiltrate the movement of Mukhtar and the movement of Muslim Awsaja, Muslim Aqeel. Mu'akkal comes up with a cover story. And he is now what would like call a sleeper. Over the next few days, he goes every day to the mosque. He sees people getting at the Muslim Awsaja, keeps his ear open. He knows Muslim Awsaja is the intermediary. He is the one who is the postman, if you like, between him, the public, and Muslim Awsaja. So he goes to him with a story, Muslim Awsaja. I am what today would call an asylum seeker. Now, there were no boats at the time. He didn't come in a boat. I'm from Syria. I'm a Shia. They are oppressing me. I managed to escape Syria, and I've come here finding some sort of protection. And I've heard that Muslim Awsaja is here. I want to contribute to his movement by financial funding. And also I want to give allegiance to him, to send the allegiance to Hussein, that if Hussein were ever to come to Kufa, he will have my full support. Muslim Awsaja, over a number of days, is now taken in by this story and by the alleged sincerity of Mu'akkal. So he now takes Mu'akkal to the house of Hani, introduce him to Muslim. Now there, every other day, there is a meeting of the tight circle of the planning of Muslim Aqeel. Now Mu'akkal is regarded as one of the inner circle. So when he goes in there now and then, blends in with the people, gets the information, hears it all, and every time he reports back to Ubaidullah, this is what they're being planned, these are the numbers of people they have, and this is the amount of funding that they've got. Ubaidullah now sees that this is where Muslim is. So he calls up Hani. He tricks Hani to come to the palace. And he tells Hani, either you get Muslim to come to my palace, and then I will let you go free. Hani says, there's no way I will betray Muslim under false pretense to come to the governor's palace. There is no way I will do it. So Ubaidullah tells him, then in that case, you are committing treason, and at the moment, the punishment of treason is execution by beheading you. Hani says, fine, I will take the punishment, but I will not betray Muslim. So when Hani is now in prison, the supporters of Hani realize this, they come to Muslim Aqeel. Muslim Aqeel now says, we have to change our plans. We are waiting for Imam Hussein to come. We cannot wait for him to come. He's still in Makkah. The plan has now changed. If we are not careful, Ubaidullah will get rid of all of us. Many of our supporters have already been executed, and some of them are also in prison. So now there's a change of plan. And the change of plan is this. Tonight, which is now the 8th of Zil-Hajj, the eve of 8th of Zil-Hajj, he says, tomorrow morning, we will go and march to the city square, next to the central mosque, next to the governor's palace. We will go there in numbers, and we will fight the security of Ubaidullah. We will overthrow his government, we will take charge, and wait for Imam to come to tell him now safe to come. The following early morning, on the 8th of Zil-Hajj, Muslim Aqeel are calling up all his leaders, and now send the word to localities, come to the streets, head towards the city square, and we'll come. Of those 18,000, records show on that day only about 4,000 turned up. Why? Analysts show very clearly this was a sudden call. There was no plan to call this sudden movement. The plan was to wait for Imam Hussein to come and then call. So some of them suspected a government trap here, so they did not come out. Secondly, Kufa at the time was divided into districts. Like here, you've got Crown Hill, you've got Bletchley, you've got Great Linford, you've got Stratford. There were various districts. And between each district, there was an intersection road. At each intersection road were government guards, and they would stop any movement of people from one district to another. And that's why when people were called, they could not get some of them. So it's only the local localities, numbering about 4,000, came in. And when they all came in there, shouting and ready to go and take over the governor's palace, Ubaidullah Ziyad now, a masterful tactician, sees, if I don't do anything now, my government will be in trouble. So now he calls up the tribal leaders. He says, come to my palace, come in. They come in, he says, now, this is what I want you to do. Go outside, talk to your people, talk to your tribe people. And if you don't go, I will execute you right now. Tell your people to leave Muslim Aqeel and desert him. If they do not do so, this is what will happen. I will call on the army of Syria, the superpower region at the time. They will come and they will cause a bloodbath against your people. So go out and tell them to leave. They go out, and of those 4,000, group by group are beginning to desert Muslim Aqeel. And then he tells them again. He says, now go and tell them that if they leave Muslim Aqeel now, they will get total amnesty. We will not execute them. We will not imprison them. They will get total amnesty. More people leave. And then the third one says, well, they go now. If they don't go now, most of these people are government people on the government pension, the stipend of the government. Most of them are soldiers. Because they fought in past campaigns, they're getting government pension. If they don't leave Muslim, they will no longer get any government pension. More people leave. And lastly, most of these are in housing by the government. Social housing, if you like. If they don't leave now, they will be kicked out of the house, they will become homeless. Against this threat, from about 4,000, from about early afternoon Zohar to about Maghrib time, group after group leave. After Maghrib time, when Muslim Aqeel now turns after his Maghrib prayers, he looks around, he's all by himself. Nobody with him. The die-hard Shias are either executed or imprisoned. These were the people who were not die-hard Shias. They were soldiers of fortune, and they were there for different motives of reason. Muslim Aqeel now sees, I cannot alone go fight against the government of the forces of Ubaidullah. So he tries to go back to the house of Hani. The dusk is now near. Sunset has come. It is now dark. Curfew is now in place. Ubaidullah now calls his chief police officer called Hasin Namir. He says, Hasin Namir, impose a curfew in Kufa. Anybody seen around the city in Kufa, any street, arrest them. Lock down Kufa, the borders of Kufa. Nobody gets out and nobody gets in. Muslim Aqeel must be apprehended. Send word around Kufa. If they know he's hiding in anybody's house, any information that we get that will lead to the arrest of Muslim, we will give them 10,000 dirhams as a reward. Muslim Aqeel goes from alleyway to alleyway in Kufa. He comes to the alleyway of Jabala, to the tribe of Al-Kinda. And when he passes along, he sees one house with the door open and an elderly lady outside with the door open. Muslim thinks to himself, analyst says, there's a curfew. Why is this lady opening the door waiting outside? Why is she not inside? And when this lady sees Muslim outside in a curfew, she also wondering, why is this man outside in curfew? So the lady is telling this man, he says, man, who are you? Don't you know there is a curfew in Kufa? My son, who is in a market, is now coming back. That's why I'm here waiting to make sure he runs in house, and then we'll close the door. They are looking for somebody called Muslim Aqeel. Muslim Aqeel tells this lady called Tawa, he says, oh lady, I am Muslim Aqeel. They are after me. Lady Tawa happens to be a sympathizer of Imam Hussein at Al-Bayt. He says, Muslim, come inside, take shelter, because if you're outside, they will arrest you and you will be executed. Lady Tawa puts him in one of the guest rooms in her house. Over the night, she goes and gives him water and food. When Hassan, called Bilal, comes back home at night, he sees that the mother is looking after a guest. When he realizes this is Muslim Aqeel, the following morning, he goes to the government called Dr Rahman, who is the son of Muhammad Ash'ash, an army officer. He says, I know where a Muslim is. Give me the reward of money and I will tell you. He takes the money. He now gives you the information that is at my house. When Muslim Aqeel sees in the early morning that the soldiers are coming up the alleyway, which was a dead end, Muslim Aqeel Lady Thawa, in order to protect you, I will go out and I will not allow the soldiers to come in. Muslim Aqeel goes out and fight against the soldiers, but he is won against about 70 of them. But he still fights on. When Muhammad Ash'ash sees that he's fighting so brilliantly, he now tells his soldiers, go down the street, go to the rooftops, throw stones at him, and throw down what we will call petrol bombs today. Throw down petrol bomb so that Muslim Aqeel is now coming forward. As he comes forward, make sure there you dig up a trench, you dig up a pit, so that when he comes in, fill it up so that he doesn't see a trap. When Muslim Aqeel now is coming forward, so he falls into the pit and the trap. When he's now coming in, Muhammad Ash'ash now tells him, we have got you committed. You will now go to the palace under Ubaidullah. Under the rule of curfew at the time, you have committed treason. Muslim Aqeel now tells Muhammad Ash'ash, I have but just one request, please. Take me to Ubaidullah, no problem. But send one of your men to Makkah with a letter to Hussein to tell him, O Imam, do not come to Kufa. The situation has changed. Do not come to Kufa. Muhammad Ash'ash says, I promise you, Muslim, that I will indeed give one. And indeed, Muhammad Ash'ash gives a letter to one of his soldiers. The letter reaches to Imam halfway between Makkah when he left a place called Zubala. Muslim Aqeel is now taken to the governor's palace. Ubaidullah is now telling Muslim, you've committed treason, and treason is execution by beheading you. There's a lot of angry exchanges going on between the two. And now Muslim says, oh Ubaidullah, if you've made up your mind you're going to execute me, at least honor my last will. I have got 3 wishes of my will. The first one is I have a debt in Kufa of about 70 dirhams. When I die, sell my horse and my armory, and at this place to this person, make sure that the debt is covered. Ubaidullah says, fine, we will honor the debt of yours. My second wish is I've also asked a letter to be sent to Imam Hussein. If that letter does not reach to Imam Hussein, will you send one of your men to send the letter to Imam Hussein? Record does not show whether that letter was sent or not, But Ubaidullah says, we do not want Hussein to come to Kufa as a free man. And my third wish is, Ubaidullah, when you've executed me and murdered me, give me a decent Islamic burial. Ubaidullah says, that is a wish I cannot grant you. We will make sure you get the complete opposite of the Islamic burial. Muslim Aqeel is now taken to the top of the roof of the palace. He's now taken up to the top of the roof. The executioner tells him, I want you to kneel by the edge of the roof. And then I want to make sure that you put your neck on the edge of the wall, so your body is inside the wall and your head is outside the wall. The sword falls down. The head of Muslim Aqeel rolls to the ground. The tyranny does not stop there. The executioner now takes the body from the top of the palace. He now throws it to the ground. Historians say God knows how many bones of Muslims were crushed at the time. The tyranny does not stop there. Ubaidullah now says, tie a rope on each leg of Muslim. 2 ropes are tied to each leg. And now he says, drag the body of Muslim with the broken bones through the alleys of Kufa. As a sign to the other citizens, this is the punishment you'll get. The tyranny does not stop there. He now says, take the body of a Muslim, he crucified in the city square. Muslim Aqeel, the first shaheed of Kufa. And the Karbala, when in Karbala, Imam Hussein, when he is now in the battlefield, he remembers Muslim Aqeel and he tells his group on the evening of Ashura, the first martyr to fall for the cause of Karbala is Muslim Aqeel, who was killed in the city of Kufa.